Come correct or don't come at all.
This is the Hartzog Hustle Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we're talking about the hustle, strategy, and mindset you need to win in the areas of your finance, your purpose, and your future.
Know what I'm saying?
If you have heart and you want to learn how to activate the power of your hustle, then this is the podcast for you, baby.
Congratulations.
And now, your hosts, Anthony and Janilka Hartzog.
This is how it should be done.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. My name is Anthony Hartzog, and I'm joined here by my beautiful, stunning wife, Mrs. Hartzog Hustle. Janilka, what's up?
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing out there?
I don't know. Should we wait for him to respond to you?
Yes. It's a way to check in, do some self-care, check in with yourself. Usually I read the review of the day or of the week. This time, I'm just going to ask you to leave a review. I'm going to ask you to leave a written review. I know we've been asking to just leave a review on the Apple platform specifically because we can't really see the other ones. Other ones don't allow reviews, I don't think.
I don't know. I never really looked.
Wherever you can, leave us a written review. We can see how many people are downloading, so that's a good thing. But we would like you to leave us a written review. Thank you to those that have done it already. And comment, share, subscribe if you're on YouTube, if you're watching. And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you guys being here. The purpose of this podcast is to help 9-to-5ers create more income, impact, and influence outside of their jobs. That's all we talk about on here. Our goal is to help you create more options, help you think about more options, and help you figure out, what do you want to do outside your job? Because one day your employer may say it's a wrap. And once it's a wrap, it's a wrap.
Say it's a wrap, but
they might say it's a wrap, depending on who you got employed to you, who you employed to you. They might say it's a wrap. So our goal is to just get you to just think about things outside of what's happening in your day-to-day. Because that's how we got started. We just started thinking about things that were happening outside our day-to-day. And we want to start by just, we just, not celebrated, but we just remembered 9/11. Mm-hmm. And, we always think about these stories about 9/11. And every year there's always a new story that surfaces or, another hero that's shown. And I knew 9/11 was big when it happened. We were in New York.
we
And
lived there.
we'll talk
but
about that for a little bit too.
But we were
Our experience.
kids. Like I was, what grade were you in?
I think I was in 11th grade, 10th grade. I was in high school.
You was in 10th because I was in 8th grade.
So I was in 10th grade, and I saw the buildings. My school was right across the street from the Brooklyn Bridge. So the Twin Towers in New York City, the towers were right across the bridge on the other side. So I was on the other side of the water in Manhattan, and I saw the towers when they got hit. I saw the smoke. Right. And you felt it because I was right there across the bridge, and I felt it, and it felt like an earthquake.
Yes. Oh, I don't know if it felt like it. So where I was in my junior high school was further in. If you know Brooklyn, I was like near Kings Plaza, which is, I don't know how many miles, probably just 12 miles, but it was just a deep further in from where I was, but you can still see the smoke of what was happening. But as an 8th grader, I really didn't have an understanding, I don't think, until two things happened. One, everybody was getting picked up from school.
Yeah.
And I knew my mother wasn't coming because she's a teacher, so I wasn't going to get picked up. She had to deal with her own stuff. And then when I got home and watched the news, that was like a clear as day thing for me.
Yeah, when I was leaving my school, I don't think I understood until I saw people on the bus. And the bus that I took,
covered in dust.
They were covered in dust, so they were literally white on the bus. The bus was like smoked out, it's a bunch of people in all white, not in all white, but they were covered in dust. Yeah. And I didn't realize that a lot of them weren't even in the building who was covered in dust. They just happened to be in the area. They just happened to work in Manhattan.
Well, yeah.
And the whole island of Manhattan was just covered in dust. So you didn't have to be inside one of the towers to experience, the impact.
What happened?
So, growing up in New York, it was just different around that time.
And life has changed. Our lives as, what are we called?
We're older millennials, I would say.
Our lives as older millennials or even people under us is completely different. Our lives changed that day. Yeah. Just in regards to traveling, in regards to war, in regards to how we look at things differently. I think we were talking about, there was a thread on Twitter when somebody was like, I was one when 9/11 happened. Can you tell me how life has changed? Mm-hmm. And people were just saying so many things that we used to be able to do. And it's like mind-boggling at this point. But yeah, our lives changed completely after that day.
Yeah, and it was like some of the examples was TSA. I didn't realize that TSA got created after 9/11.
Yeah, I remember, your mother used to be able to walk you to the gate.
They were talking about smoking on the planes. They were talking about you'd have to take shoes off in the airports and on. It was a lot of things that changed. And I couldn't imagine social media, and even social media now is starting to change, not due to 9/11, but just due to what happens around the world. So after the Afghanistan war, they were showing, they really stopped, they started controlling the media narrative around what we were seeing on the news. It was about war. Then it became about money and oil. They said it was about war, saving lives and stuff like that. But then you realize, it's about money and oil. And I'm not going to get to the politics of that, but you realize that the media narrative was controlled to show us exactly what people wanted us to see.
Yeah.
So you wasn't seeing bodies, and then you see the 9/11 memorial and all the people who died in Afghanistan and Iraq and all the wars, and a lot of people died, but they stopped showing, what was happening.
Yeah.
And the news stopped talking about the war. And just like even with like the COVID, when COVID first hit, you saw people dying, you saw the numbers. Then after a while, they stopped talking about it.
The numbers just weren't there.
The numbers just weren't there
you
anymore.
kind of felt like, is it really still happening? Where are we? Is the pandemic over? Which is not. We're still in it.
So a lot of things had changed since then. And we're just talking about media and even social media. More recently, one topic we wanted to get into was just the dangers of social media and just the social media and digital age.
Yeah, so which brings us to that's our topic for today's social media age, which we've done an episode before, episode 6 actually, on social media etiquette.
Shout out to you knowing the numbers.
It's in my research.
Shout out to you knowing the numbers. That's amazing.
I usually be like, just look back.
You definitely be like,
and
look
we'll put
back.
it in the show notes, which we still will. But that episode was about social media etiquette, meaning like just the way people approach us, assumptions, things like that. And this is more focused on, I think, the pros and the cons and the dangers and things that we've seen with being in this social media age, with us YouTubing, with all those things. Where you going?
You're good.
Oh, okay. I needed it, actually.
Okay.
With all those things, one of them being recently a rapper, P&B, passed away. Condolences to him and his family. Due to, I say it like this, because people assume it was his baby mother tagging their location. Cause 20 minutes later, people came in to rob him and unfortunately then killed him. Now, there could be multiple people involved. People worked there, other people that saw him. Who knows? But the assumption is...
Yeah, I want to even stop you there. He wasn't killed due to that. He was killed because people decided to kill him.
Due to him being robbed is what I said.
Yeah, but you said due to the location. No, people decide to kill him.
Yeah. No, I thought I said due to the robbery, not due to the location. Oh, yeah. But just bringing up the point, this is what started the conversation, at least on social media. People were blaming her or whatever. But the thing about location and tagging your location when you're there, rapper, influencer, whatever, whoever you are. And I think we had that discussion maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. When I was like, say what you want, I got it from the Kardashians, but when I was like, we need to stop tagging our location when we are there. We can tag it, just not when we're in that place, just for safety reasons. Just for safety reasons, because you just never know people's intentions, right? Most of the people you interact with, maybe on social media or in general, it's probably a positive experience, but everybody is not happy for you. Everybody does not like you. So that is something that we are mindful to do, even when it comes to hotels. When people are like, oh, what hotel are you at? I ain't tell you till I leave. What Airbnb you staying at? I ain't tell you till I leave. All those things. And I would encourage other people to do the same. But I know, like, in the moment, you just like, oh, this is where I'm at, partying and having a good time. And you usually do post it. So
yeah, I think that, number one, we got to get out of this mindset of this culture of, like, we lose people too soon. Like, we lost...
Pop Smoke that way too.
Yeah, we lost a few people. Pop Smoke, we lost Nipsey Hussle and P&B. And I didn't know that he was even that young. He was only 30 years old.
Who?
P&B.
Oh, I don't really know much about him.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was only, I knew his music, but I didn't know he was that young. But social media and just media in general, I think there's a lot of pros and cons to it. We're not going to be here just doubting, because we're on social media. This is social media. We're talking about it. You guys,
you're listening.
You guys are literally in our house right now. We talk about this all the time. So we're not going to sit here and act like, we're perfect when it comes to social media, but we just are mindful of a lot of things as we continue. Especially having a child. So we're just mindful around of things that we see and things we want to avoid and just things we're learning as we go in this space too. So we know that. Oh, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, so we're going to just talk about some of the cons of social media. So,
or pros.
Where you want to start?
I got one pro. Only one.
What you want to start with?
But so talking about cons and pros is like social media can be the thief of joy, right? So because social media exposes us to so much, which can be a good thing, right? We're learning new things, but because it exposes us to so much, we compare ourselves so much as well.
Yeah.
So we're saying, why don't I have this body? Why don't I got this clothes? Why don't I got this pocketbook? Why don't I got this business? Whatever the case may be, we're constantly comparing ourselves to others. Even if we're at different places. I mean, we say this all the time with our students. Like, they just see us post or other students post, and they're like, oh, why am I not there yet? Like, why am I not making that yet? And it's like, you are on your own journey. You're on your own track. So that's one thing with social media. And then the other side of it, like I said, the positive of being exposed to these other things. Like, I may not have never known what, I don't know, something that's small-minded.
That was a double negative.
What?
Not never.
I may not have never known. Yeah. I may not have known what other people do in other cultures. Now I see it on social media, and now I want to go visit. Or I never knew that I can start a cleaning business remotely, and now I'm interested in it. So there is a positive in seeing other things and being exposed to other things,
Definitely.
but just being mindful not to always compare yourself. I would say.
We had, going back to that story, we recently had someone post in one of our communities or something like that, and they said I finally hit my 10K month. Or what was it?
Yeah.
It was something like that.
Oh, I finally got my return on investment.
Oh,
it was like the second month or something like that.
So I think the other con is that you feel like things have to be rushed.
Yes.
So social media creates a see it now. It creates, everything is urgent. See it now, do it now, want it now. So that is another thing that we have to be mindful of, is that when you see something, you, like you said, the body, like the whole, we talk about the bodies and the workouts and things like that. But you see something now, you want it now. Before you even put in the work to get it, you're like, well, they did it. You don't know what the whole storyline was behind that. But now you assume that you just see us pop up as millionaires. Oh, they did it. Why can't I do it? But they don't know that we've been in this journey for, 5, 6, 7 years, getting to where we are today. You just may see us or hear of us, but you assume that, oh, well, they did it so fast. Why can't I do it?
It's like the phrase, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Like, you weren't with me when I started my page and I was at 2K. You come at 30K, you just assuming based on numbers that whatever, you make your own assumption, right? So, that's true. People just make assumptions on social media as well.
Yeah.
Which, I was going to say something in regards to assumptions. Oh, no, forget it. I'll get back to it because I rephrased it wrong.
So another thing is, it removes you being present in the moment too. So a lot of, like, we were just, where were we just at? We were just in Mexico, and we were just talking about, like, creating content that whole time. And I think the boat experience, we were on a yacht, and we were just having a good time. And I wasn't on my phone like I normally would be. I don't know why. I just wasn't on my phone.
Ask yourself that, bro.
I wasn't on my phone as I normally would be. I would be thinking about content. Did we even create content on the boat?
Not really.
Not really. So normally I'm in my mindset of us creating content, but for some reason I just wasn't. And I was able to experience the ocean. I was able to experience the vibes. I was able to experience the people that were there. So sometimes being on social media can remove you from actually being where you are.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about everything else that's happening. I was listening to another podcast, and they were in Paris, and the guy was like, yeah, we were at the Eiffel Tower. My wife remembered this so vividly. And he's like, I can't remember anything about it. And he's like, because I was too busy trying to take pictures and do videos and post it on Instagram. And he's like, I couldn't tell you what it felt like, what it looked like. I can only tell you what my phone showed me. So we're living through a lens. We're living our life through a lens of a phone, essentially, sometimes.
Which is difficult because it's our job, right? So knowing when to cut it off is another thing as well, and just having that balance, having those boundaries. If it's your job, as an entrepreneur, you need to post content. I think a good way to go about it is like setting a time and then being done with it. Like, all right, as soon as we get on this boat, let's take these pictures, do what we got to do, and then we're done. And then another way that I think we've discussed is, taking the videos, but you don't have to post it in real time, because that consumes it as well. That consumes the time as well. You having to post it, you want to put filters on it, you want to put captions, you want to put words. That's all time consuming while you're in the moment. Yeah. So take your videos, do what you got to do, and then put it down. That's another way that social media consumes us on a regular basis. But if you not work for social media, but if you constantly have to put content out, it's even more of a consumption, I feel.
Yeah.
Because you're just, like you said, you're always thinking about that content. I'd be like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like talking about content right now.
And I remember when we was out there, it was like, all right, I needed you to do something. I was like, all right, I need you to stand here and make this video for me.
Yeah.
You were annoyed. And I was like, all right, we need to do it because it has to get done. It's part of the business. But
Right.
that's another thing, like pre-planning it out so you don't have to be in that moment of creating it and also posting it at the same time too.
Right. And we spoke about this at the beginning with the sharing of the location and stuff like that, but just other things as well, like being mindful of your car, being mindful of your house, being mindful of all those things. If you're walking down your block, you may get a street sign in your video. You just don't realize it. But because we are in this space, I think we're more hyper vigilant about it. You may say, ain't nobody checking for me. Listen, you just never know is how I think about it. I don't feel like if I'm not an influencer, I don't need to think about those things. I think you should think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if you post.
Yeah, dude, you're much better about that than me.
Yeah.
But we were recording an ad and we had the phone in our face and we realized, all right, well, the street signs were behind us or the house numbers were behind us. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody wants to find you, they can.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But I ain't gonna make it easy for you.
yeah, I'm gonna try to. There was this one video. Oh my god, they said this person. What is it called? Time lapse. They were doing
it down.
No, yeah. So they were doing a fast time lapse video of them like on their way to work. It was like a cat video or something. And this guy said, I found out exactly where they lived.
Oh, yeah. Based on the route?
Based on the
I
route.
think I saw it on Twitter.
Based on the day, based on the route, based on the bus. And I said, that was, oh my God. If I could,
Scary.
I'm not going to find that video. I don't want you guys looking at it. But that just that just lets you know if people really want to find you, they can no matter what you do.
Yeah.
But it was a super fast video. All they said was I reversed the video, I slowed it down, and I had the video going backwards.
Child.
And it was like,
You got time to do all that? Yes.
but no, it was really for they did that for a specific reason.
Information.
Though. Yeah,
To let people know.
let people know, like no matter how, and they got it from the bus route, they got it from the time of the day, the bus. They like the bus doesn't stop here on this day. They got the city, the state, everything.
I remember that one though. That was a pretty recent.
So that just goes back to just trying to be mindful of what happens.
Also in this social media age, whatever is posted is truth. Get what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that?
I could say on social media that you're gay, and it's the truth.
Well, you'd be my wife, you would probably know.
But I'm just saying, I could be lying.
I mean, would you?
No, but you never know. My point is, whatever you say on social media, people take as Bible.
Yeah.
And so lies spread faster.
And the truth doesn't spread at all.
No, the truth doesn't spread at all because the truth doesn't sound good. There was a phrase that Charlemagne used to say about the truth and the I don't remember what it is, but it's something he used to say about like the truth ain't as fun or something like that. Basically, that lies spread faster on social media. So that is something to be mindful of, and I feel like people will make their assumptions regardless. Most of the times we see lies and truths maybe with like
false news,
with
fake news.
Yeah, exactly. We see that mostly with like celebrities and influencers. But it can happen to an average Joe as well. Someone can come and say a lie about us. Somebody reads it and they're like, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And so that happens in regards to social media, and being mindful of that it's not always the truth. This is plain and simple. It's not always the truth. I mean, there may be some things, obviously, but everything you read doesn't mean that it's true.
Yeah, that's how TMZ essentially got their start when they said that Michael Jackson had passed. We was like, "Whoa, who are you? You're fake."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They was literally just a fake news outlet at that point, and then they
became real because they were right.
They had the news before CNBC and MSNBC, everyone. So when they posted that he died, we were like, "Oh, no way!" And then all these other outlets posted it after, and then we said, "Oh, wow, that's actually shout outs to them for being the first to post it."
Yeah.
But the first to post doesn't necessarily mean the most accurate either.
That's true too, because people be dying.
Yeah, because usually as social media, your goal is to get the information out as fast as possible. And a lot of times you forget that you got to actually have an accurate source.
Forget to be a journalist?
Forget to be a journalist. I don't say we're journalists, but...
No. I ain't breaking news anywhere.
No. So that's another thing is that social media, their goal is to get the information out first so that it's the most groundbreaking. It could get the most shares, the most reposts, but then it may not have the most accuracies in it. So you see a lot of people that get killed on social media. It's like, wait, I'm still alive. Think about a celebrity that you know who got killed on social media multiple times. Betty White has died multiple times before she died. She's like, wait, I'm still posting. Like, don't kill me off
It's
yet.
me, I'm here.
She's like, I'm still here, so don't kill me off yet.
No, it's true.
So the lies spread faster than the truth always, and more than likely the truth won't ever come out because it doesn't spread. So
exactly,
you won't be able to correct it after that.
Let me see. What else did we see with this social media age? It is causing a lot of like medical conditions. And you're like, what type of medical condition? Maybe you faced this before, like anxiety, stress, depression. I think mostly with trying to keep up with people and also comparing yourself to others, it can become very overwhelming. Or just but I think that goes back to maybe who you're following and things like that, but not all the time. Sometimes it just feels like it's too much. Or you just like, I know some friends that say they take a break from it because they notice themselves comparing themselves to others too much. And they're like, I don't want to feel this. This is not a good feeling. It's not something that I've ever felt before. I don't want to do this. So I'm going to take a break and come back. So things that we've seen, anxiety, stress, depression, loneliness, envy, low self-esteem. When people are trying to share positive, it can impact someone differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
low quality sleep. I experience that all the time.
Yeah.
I try not to be on my phone right before bed. So like if I'm in the bedroom, I'll try not to scroll on social media. I'll try not to check my email. Because I don't want to be triggered by something that may keep me up. I may see a comment that I don't like, and I'm like, well, I want to go respond. Excuse me. I want to go respond to it. I want to go, block them. I want to do this. So that's one thing I'm trying to do better is not being on social media right before I go to bed. So it's not the last thing I'm consuming before I go to sleep.
Well, I think you bring up a good point in regards to responding because people act as if people on social media aren't humans, if you will. You know, some people say they're just fingers behind a keyboard, which is essentially true. But people are still human. So things that you say can impact people in different ways. And I don't know if you guys didn't learn the phrase, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. I would never understand why people just, follow people to say negative things, or if you disagree, you can disagree, but it doesn't have to be nasty. And then when somebody responds, it becomes a bigger thing. So I think that's another part of it as well, like finding that balance of don't ever respond, right? Because you got to be a perfect human. But on the flip side of it is, how about you just don't write anything? How about you just don't say anything negative? How about you just don't say those things? But
sometimes
with billions of people in the world,
sometimes you get tired of being bullied too online.
I know.
So bullying doesn't have to be necessarily like you're specifically picking on someone lesser than you or smaller than you. No, it could just be you just constantly just poking at someone.
Yeah.
I saw a big account recently and say, yo, I got time today. And they had time and they literally was like, you posted this 2 years ago asking for GoFundMe because you ain't have the money. 2 years ago, I was building my brand, building up my businesses, and now I'm a multi-millionaire. And I was like, well, you definitely had time today. Because they said sometimes you get tired of just being poked at. So I definitely understand that. But one thing I just try to do, if I can ignore it, I'll try, I'll block. And also,
blocking is just good.
Blocking people is a form of self-care. I want you guys to block people who do not feed your soul. They don't feed you personally. Mentally. They don't feed you mentally. They don't feed you physically, emotionally. Block those people out your life on social media, and then also in real life too. We'll take it off. We'll take it off the page and go in real life too. So blocking people is a form of self-care.
Yeah, I agree. Just go ahead and block them. It doesn't even. Also, so another thing with this social media age is that people give unsolicited advice about everything. And yes, I'm sharing it, but I really didn't ask you, right? Unless there's a question in the caption that says, what do you guys think? Or
the call to action.
Go ahead, a call to action. Leave your comment below, or whatever the case may be. The unsolicited advice is kind of, I don't think it's so overwhelming with us, but I see it a lot with influencers that I follow that may share stuff when it comes to babies. Or I've seen it. Remember when I had me and Alani had a reel that went viral. It hit almost 2 million views. And people were in the comment when I was drinking a cup of champagne. Hope you ain't breastfeeding. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. And it's like, ma'am, you don't know. It was a 4-second reel. This is a 4-second video. You have no idea. I see a lot of times with mothers when they post things about their kids and stuff like that people just give unsolicited advice, and it's just unnecessary.
But you putting yourself out there, aren't you opening yourself up to that advice?
Yeah, but that don't mean I still want it.
No, you can't. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you,
You do
want.
know what I want because I didn't ask the question. You do know what
I don't know what you want. Maybe you didn't know that you shouldn't drink and breastfeed a baby.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm making sure that you are aware that you shouldn't breastfeed a baby
you.
while drinking.
Thank you. We don't care.
So that's the thing. I don't know if you wanted the advice or not, so I'm going to give it to you anyway.
Right.
I don't know how people think, but that is
Right.
so you posting that video. Let's say that video got in the wrong hands. And now I'm not, I don't want to speak on it, but let's say that video got to an agency where they said, "Oh, she's breastfeeding and she's drinking. She doesn't seem like a fit mother."
Well, if anybody knew about breastfeeding, you're actually supposed to drink while you're breastfeeding so it doesn't get into the milk right away. I'm just letting you know. So exactly, you don't know.
But I'm saying, let's say if that video got in the wrong hands, now people are questioning your motherhood, and let's say, oh, now you get people at your door checking up on Alani, making sure she's good. I don't think she could get any better than what she is now, but I'm just saying, us, or just people in general posting videos, you just never know where it's gonna go. That's another thing to think about too. When you are
You never know when you go viral.
You never know where your video is going to go. You never know what you say online is going to come back to haunt you. You see a lot of people online talking about how they got fired from their jobs because they posted something wrong, or they posted things that didn't fit the narrative that they were trying to portray. So now you got them getting fired from their jobs, getting moved from their careers, getting kicked out of housing. You never know where your video is going to go or what you say online is going to go, and it can never be deleted. I don't care if you deleted it. I don't care if you archived it. I don't care if you backspaced it. If someone sees it, it is now online somewhere.
And then jobs are now, I think a lot of jobs or some jobs now have that they're like putting it into their contract, like how you represent yourself on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, they've always been, it wasn't even just about social media, it's like how you represent yourself
in general.
In general.
Yeah, so if you get like arrested for something, then they can come back and
say, if you get arrested while you're wearing your company's logo on your shirt, it's now it's part of their company's brand. There's some company employee who got arrested in a bar fight. Like, whoa. I'm a regular person. I just happened to be drinking and got arrested in a bar fight wearing my company shirt. Wearing my company shirt. So you just got to be mindful of just everything, especially when you are talking or posting online. I see now a lot of people that started like Twitter accounts with, they're deleting their accounts because
starting over.
Yeah, they're starting
over.
What
they had back in the day.
Listen,
in college, it was a wild time.
Twitter was a wild place. So I'm seeing a lot of people like delete their accounts and starting over more professional accounts. So yeah, when you're younger, I get it. Like I know Kevin Hart had something that came back and got him removed from the Oscars.
Yeah,
because
or Nike, I think,
and a few other people. But he was like, I'm not that person anymore. You're talking about something from 8-10 years ago, and you're bringing it back.
Social media doesn't allow you to grow.
He's like, I'm not apologizing for something I said. He did apologize. He said. He did something very particular. He went on a non-apology tour.
As a comedy thing?
No, I'm just not gonna apologize. He went on show someone how he's not apologizing. It's like you're apologizing essentially.
No,
but you're saying
you're not. Don't say sorry. I didn't apologize.
But you're going on a tour trying to clean it up. It's essentially.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, you're doing a non-apologizing tour.
I thought that was like the name of his comedy skit. So.
No.
Okay,
but once it's out there, it's out there.
This is a funny one. Everyone makes 6 figures on social media, so you have to be. I think that. You have to be mindful because there's a lot of scammers everywhere, right? And social media kind of highlights that even more. So if you're interested in anything, I don't know, whatever you listen to, consume, whatever you buy, I think being mindful of people is important as well. It's not always, I don't know how people just know people are scammers right away. It's not so easy. But you hear those stories of people like, oh yeah, I gave $12,000 and I never heard back. Or I've been trying for a year now, so now I'm coming to social media to put this person on blast. Like you see those type of stories. So being mindful of scammers, because scammers exist, obviously. So of course they exist on social media. So being mindful of that, I think is important. But I don't know how you weed them out. How do you weed out scammers?
I would say, does the person that you're following have some sort of track record of influence on what they're talking about, what they're doing? So I say this all the time because if you are new here and the first time you see us is today, if you Google our names, you know our names, right? Anthony and Janoka Hartzog. You could Google us and see where we started before we saw us on this podcast, before you saw us on Instagram, before you saw us on Good Morning America. You can see our track record as to articles we've been in, things we've done, things we've been introduced to, people who vouch for us. So there are ways to find out what a person was doing before you started following them. And I think that's a good representation of who they are and what they've done if you could find out who they were before you found them that day.
But I was going to say, a lot of people don't have that. So a lot of people may not have articles about them or stuff like that. So How does someone still know? Because I Google you and can't find no information about you doesn't
But
mean
what
you're
were
not
you
legit.
doing before I found you? What were you doing before I found you?
I was working a 9 to 5.
Yeah, but there has to be some sort of track record. You can't just hop online and say, like, all right, so I'll give you an example. We have dozens of people who are now like putting out courses about cleaning businesses, right? They've had some success either from our course or while we're here. Did you know we started at 6 or 7? We were doing a commercial break.
Yeah,
Look at the
go
camera.
ahead.
If you're interested in starting a 6 or 7 cleaning business, 6 or
Seven-figure.
7-figure cleaning business without cleaning houses, check out cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. We'll give you an A to Z comprehensive guide on how we did it and how you could do it too. So if you are one of those students who've taken our course and you've done extremely well, you decide, hey, I'm going to put my own course out, and somebody finds you, my question is, did you just have success recently, or did you have some sort of track record before this?
But
Yes.
that's how you think.
So that's great that you did. Let's say you started something and you did really well in it in 1 year. That's great. Yes, I want to know how you've done that, but have you sustained that growth? What were you doing before I found you? Were you just working at Walmart and you took a course and now you have your own course? So that's my mindset. When I find people on social media, I want to know
Their backstory.
what's your backstory. Did you just start trading stocks? Did you just start doing vending machines? Did you just start doing trucking? Did you just start this? What was your backstory? Who were you as a person before you got to where you are now?
But I don't think everybody research that or looks into that because they want things quick, fast. They're like, oh, you got it in a year? I want it in a year too. So some people just don't even care about doing that research, doing that diligence to find out more about a person. Then they get scammed and be like, oh,
Yeah, that's the thing. But let's say you found us like today, right? You found us on the podcast. You heard us talk about Cleaning Business University. Check it out. Link will be in the show notes. You're like, oh, this sounds interesting. Oh, they've been doing this for 5 years. That's a track record. And if I scroll back on their page, I see they started this page in 2017. Oh, I can see them every day on this podcast. They're not just coming on YouTube or they're just coming on Instagram and just posting, hey, I've done this in my cleaning business. No, you see us every day on this podcast. You see us posting clips. You see our story. You see our baby. You see the transition. You see us become millionaires. You see us before we came in. You see us talking about paying off debt. You see us on the Dave Ramsey show. You see us on a ton of different things before we got to where we are today. So I think that's very important when you're trying to figure out who are you going to follow or bring into your personal space. I feel like social media is such a personal space. Like if I'm going to follow you, I'm going to bring you to my personal space. I got to an argument with somebody about that online too.
But people look at it, I don't think everybody looks at it that way. Well, obviously not. Everybody's going to have different opinions. But I don't think most people look at it that way. Like, I know sometimes we speak about you follow people that you feel like you can learn from and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't need to learn from this person I'm following. I just like the way they show their clothes.
Yeah, you don't.
Oh, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's something that I like, but I may not be learning from them. So I think people look at it differently when they're following other people. I hear you with vetting people out. You know, I ain't buying them for nobody unless I know, like, I need to know their mother. I need to see you. I need to see details. But
We had
not
your mother on the
everybody is like that.
podcast.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Not
As an
everybody is
example,
like
I'm
that.
just saying,
I'm
as an
just
example.
giving. I hear you out and I hear what you're saying, but I think most people, especially in this fast-paced world that we live in and this quick, fast things that people want, they ain't vetting nothing out.
And I'll give
That's
you
the
another
truth.
example.
They ain't vetting that
Somebody hit me up, was like, yo, you don't follow me on Twitter. And I got your course. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. I appreciate you. Let me know how far you got in the course. And they came back and said, yo, I did really well. Blah, blah. I was like, okay, I got a testimonial. Let me know what you guys like. Nah, you don't follow me on Twitter. And I find that disrespectful. And I said, okay. I said, okay. I didn't follow them on Twitter. And then they came back and said,
It ain't that deep.
I was like, it's not that deep to me. I don't see you providing value to what I'm looking for. I don't see you providing value for what I'm trying to learn, what I'm trying to grow with. I see you just posting other people's stuff, which is fantastic. But if I take social media very seriously. If I'm bringing you into my world and I'm watching you post and I'm watching what you do and how you interact with people, I take that very seriously. I'm not going to follow you because you follow me. And that's totally fine if you want to do that. But I am an intentional person when it comes to social media.
Yeah.
If I'm following you, it's for a reason. I want to learn something from you. Either I want to grow with you, I want to network with you, or your lifestyle is something I like. Family,
Enjoy.
fitness, business. Family, faith, fitness, finances, business. Like, we talking about that stuff. All right, I'm probably going to follow you.
You enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. So I'm going to follow people who are about that. Now, if you come twerking and I'm showing your ass and I'm like, all right, I'm probably not going to follow you. I'm probably going to unfollow you, friend
You
or
be
not.
saying that, like, who is
Friend or
this on
not.
the timeline?
I am very intentional about who I allow in my space. So if I see something I don't recognize, I can easily point it out. And I'll show you every single time. Who's this person? Because we
No,
share a
that's
family
somebody you
page.
knew.
We
I don't
share
know
a family
that
page.
person.
And I'll be like, oh, who is this person? He's like, I don't know them. I'm like, oh, I probably hit follow accidentally. Or Instagram will follow people like ghost followers too. So
Yeah.
that's something I'm very intentional about so that I could protect my peace. Going back to protecting your own personal space.
Right. One other thing. No, that was. I'm trying to. That was a good. Take a drink. Take a break.
What happened?
No. Based on your rant that you just went off of. But another thing with social media is kids. Right. In the day and age that we live in, when we grew up, cell phones just got started. So when did cell phones come into our life?
You had the first cell phone ever. The Sprint joint with the ringtones. The color Sprint with the ringtones. You had the free nights.
Yes, Sprint was that man, was that guy.
Everybody had nights after 9. You had nights at 7.
Yeah.
And then they Sprint said, all right, we're going to go to 6.
And then they went to 6. You're right. They did.
I remember.
But cell phones didn't come into our life until like I was in high school. So we're a little older. Now, 6 years old have iPhones, right? So that is a scary thing just with us having a daughter, of course, and this social media age and the age of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of this stuff.
Who knows what will be out by then?
Who knows what will be out by then? But also, if you think about it, like, remember the highest paid, I don't think he is still, but the highest paid YouTuber was a kid that opened toys. Mm-hmm. And so there's educational stuff, of course, for kids to see on these different platforms and stuff like that. But in this day and age, I just worry about the impact it'll have on our child, the impact you have on our child, and like the bullying about it. You hear that all the time, because back in our day when you got bullied, it was only at school. Not that it was okay, but maybe it ended at school. You can go home. Now with social media, it's following you.
It goes home with you.
It goes home with you. It's in your house. People are commenting under whatever post this bully is saying or doing. So it's way bigger. And it's like, how do you control that? Like, when do you think will allow Alani to be on social media? Like, have her own account. Like, I think she'll be able to watch YouTube and stuff before that. But, like, have her own account.
I was trying to create her account now.
Why?
So that we can own it.
Oh, that's us, though. But, I mean, like, for her to have, like, do her own thing.
Yeah, she should have her own account.
But her doing her own thing.
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't even think about
You didn't think that far?
I'm not thinking that far. I don't know. 14?
That's way too old, I think. If you could let your 14-year-old child last to 14 without social media, that's great. I don't know that that's
if you have kids,
reasonable.
my question for you guys, if you have kids right now, or you have kids, they're of
that
age,
yeah.
What is the appropriate age to allow them to have a social media account so that we can figure this out? Because I have no idea.
Roblox,
I have no idea
things.
what age do you, because our friend G, he has social media, right?
Well, he has Roblox and he has TikTok. Yeah.
So he's able to go on social media. He's not 14, so.
No, he's not 14. He just turned 8, 9.
Yeah, so it's like, what's the appropriate age to give you? So you give your kid a cell phone at what, 5, 6 now?
I'm not saying that you do, but some kids have cell phones at 6. They know how to operate it. The way that Alani reaches for a phone, she'll be out of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So I have no idea what that means for us. I am happy when I was getting out of college. That's when social media started becoming prevalent.
Yeah.
I think Twitter was 2008, 2009. That was when I graduated. I remember being on the cusp of Twitter while I was graduating. Like, we were still doing programs at that last year. And I remember distinctively being in a program and people talking about the program while we're in it. I was like, no way this is happening.
What is this? The passive aggressive.
Good, bad, indifferent. I'm like, no way. I was so happy that Twitter wasn't really that big then.
Yeah.
But I'm still baffled. This is
because you wonder how it's working now for people.
I am so happy that I was not around. Wow, this was where it is today.
Where it is today.
Instagram wasn't then. Twitter was like the only thing. Facebook was now in colleges, but people talking about you in your face while you're still on stage, behind your back, in front of your face.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Behind your back, in front of your face.
If that makes sense. So going back to Alani, I'm worried. I really don't know how the impact of social media will be, especially as we get further. Now we talk about virtual reality social media where you're in these.
I was going to say, I don't think there's a big enough, span that they can do research and say, this is that exact impact that we've noticed. Because like I said, if we just started, so social media has been 15, 20 years now. So I don't know when the research has started or what's happening, but to
I'd
know
say 15 strong.
15 strong years to know exactly this is the impact that we've seen. I mean, I worry about our thumbs with social media.
We had MySpace. MySpace was before. MySpace, yeah, before. Yeah, MySpace. So MySpace was
that was the beginning.
That was the beginning of friends breaking up too. So
what? Because you have to do top 10.
Top 10, top 8.
And it was always changing.
Yeah, I was moving you around, I think. And
why was I in your MySpace?
I have no idea. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't. I don't know. But we've seen the impact that it could have on people. I think, fortunately enough for us, we're older millennials too.
Actually, wouldn't ASL be social media? AOL, the
AOL
chat rooms.
Yeah.
That was social media too.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, so
20
further
years.
back. It's just different variations of it as we grow older. The video part of it makes it different.
I think having it at the palm of your hand was really when it started getting like BlackBerry. When they, so you could bring your AOL
iPhone
on the road with you, so you could talk about people on your Facebook status while you're in front of them, behind them. So I'm worried about how social media is going to impact these future generations, because we were just talking about this. Like, people are bragging about blocking people on social. Oh, I'm blocked by such and such. And I'm like, you got to be a certain type of person to be excited about getting blocked by people on social media who probably have no idea that you exist. You got to be a different type of person to be bragging about that type of stuff. Me, I'm like, I got millions to make. I got families to impact. I got my own family to worry about. I got my wife and kids, and I'm worried about people on social media. I'm bragging about people blocking me on social media. Yeah. I'm like, that's, I would say, corny behavior.
Well, social media is a whole.
And I remember back in the day when, it reminds me of this. Like, I remember back in the day, if I was playing my video games too much, my mom would be like, go outside. And I would go outside and I forget all about the video games. I would not come back in until midnight. So I forgot how fun outside was.
I don't know if kids going outside today.
So I'm like, the people today don't know what outside is. So all they know is this social media, what's in front of them.
Yeah. I'm serious, I worry about thumbs. Like, how is that going to... No, they said that over time. You don't know what will happen to our thumbs. And no, bringing it back to Alani, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what age we'll give a phone. I don't know what age we'll do social media. But if you think about it, with the job that we have with social media and as entrepreneurs, we constantly have the phone in her face. So then how do you then go on the side and say, like, no, you can't have it, though, even though we constantly have it in her face, recording her,
I think the same,
posting her, that type of stuff.
I think the same way you don't eat green beans and you tell her she got to eat green peas.
Don't be putting my business out there.
Mommy, you don't eat green beans. Why do I have to eat green beans?
Because Daddy eats it. Next. It's good for you.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, I'm a big believer in that. It's good for you. But I think we spoke through all the topics we had. You know, when we write things down, it's good. We on fire. We spoke through all the topics that we had in regards to.
So we'll do a recap. So automating tasks on social media so you're not constantly scrolling on social media.
Oh, we didn't mention that. Ways to combat it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ahead. So automating tasks so you're not constantly in front of your phone. Mm-hmm. Also, we said using a timer on the phone as well.
Yeah. Your iPhone allows you to put a timer on app. I don't know if it's every app, but I know it does it for Instagram to say, like, if I only want to spend 30 minutes a day on Instagram, it would alert you like, okay, you've hit your 30 minutes. You'll get off of it and keep it moving. So that's a way to hold yourself accountable if you don't just if you can't just put it down by yourself. So
yeah, knowing how and when to disconnect. What does disconnecting look like for you? Right. Like I said, before bed, I try not to be on social media right before I go to bed, so it's not the last thing I'm thinking about.
Sitting at the dinner table, table.
Being intentional about being away from your phone too would probably be a huge one for us.
Definitely.
At least dinner. That's the one time a day we say, all right, phone's down.
Or the table.
Yeah.
Breakfast on, I don't need the phone there. Like, ain't nobody dying, thankfully. So they could wait till you finish eating.
Yeah. I think that was mostly the recap right there.
No, that's not the recap. Those are just strategies that you can use. But we don't got to recap everything we said. Did you want to?
No, we're good.
Okay. But so once again, thank you for tuning in this week. We ask that you continue to share, comment, subscribe, like. We are growing on YouTube, so thank you so much. We had a look back at our goals, and we had a goal of hitting 2,000 subscribers before the year's over, and we hit it. Mm-hmm. We hit it. So thank you so much. We started the year at like 760. So
being intentional.
As
we talk about social media and the cons of it. We're telling you to go follow us on YouTube.
We're telling you to subscribe. I mean, yeah, we're not saying stay away from it. Just being mindful of things, I think, makes a difference for you.
Following people who impact your lives in a positive way, whether it makes you feel good, if you follow people who work out, like you said, lady that you like their clothes. Like that makes you feel good. Seeing people's clothes, it
Yeah.
gives you ideas, it gives you inspiration.
Yeah,
I think
it does.
that's the biggest part about social media that we have to be cognizant
Utilize.
of. Utilizing the inspiration behind it, and being mindful of the dangers behind it. We lost an excellent talent over, senseless violence, and part of it being social media and just knowing locations and things like that. We've lost numerous talents over locations and social media. So following inspiration,
Which
being
the person
mindful.
to blame is the killer. But if we can be a bit safer.
Following inspirational people who guide you, who lead you, that make you think. That would be the biggest takeaway, I would say. And just being cautious of how it could impact you psychologically, physically, mentally, emotionally. So appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Hartzog Hustle podcast. We are here every Tuesday, 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Central. Depends on how the algorithm works. But we are here every Tuesday. We appreciate you guys tuning in to our podcast and just showing love. So appreciate you guys. Peace.
Bye.
This has been an episode of the Hartzog Hustle podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite listening platform. And follow Anthony and Janilka on Instagram at The Hartrimony. That's TheHartrimony. Keep hustling, baby. Keep hustling, baby.
Get that money. Get that